they both pay respect to me. I get in my way from Friday to Friday. My girl is a mix of Aaliyah and Sade. I came a long way from that Marvin and I pull out the driveway like I'm in a car chase speeding. And if my she know I'm leaving. No text, no call, but at airplane mode. Cold, no P code, no time to change clothes. Same clothes, love if you're living by the same code. G code, leave. You do that to me, back to my destiny. Penthouse, bird's eye view, that's a nest for me. I got myself out of debt, so when you see me, know you somebody I never need. Sacrifices. So many sacrifices. Straight up. I done gave up so much free time, knowing time ain't free. I sacrificed it. My girl showed me love, she know I make sacrifices. And if it's real love, then you make sacrifices. To get ahead, man, you gotta make sacrifices. That's how hungry my appetite is. Yeah, I cut the drama.
Pick's been made. Let's go to Adam Schefter to hear more about the player.
He's a Heisman-winning defender. Let me say that one more time. He won the Heisman, and he's a defensive player. Need I say more? You can imagine how well he played this season to win the biggest award in college over several offensive playmakers. The trophy was well-deserved, and according to Matt Miller, he projects really well as a defender in the NFL. I think this is a home run pick, and it's great to see a defender get some well-deserved recognition.
Gucci Python. Yeah, she play with her. I bought that new charm. Pop on, I told her come see about me. Come see. The devil had entered my soul. My mama had beat it out. The devil, my mama. Remember my grandma had told me you better be somebody. Hop in my seats, massaging. Watch how I lead the posse. I made an M deposit.
Paid all these dudes with the game. Sacrifice your strides for that stain. Sacrifice. Heard you sacrifice your life for that change. She sacrificed that money for white. Left hand got 3 rings. That's brum brum. We up one. Bad, dear savage. Take her to the mall and buy something. That's gonna wanna make your friends come. Make way with the tummy. Tell me. Why can't y'all recognize that we all came from sacrifice? Why can't y'all recognize that we all came from sacrifice? 10 toes, yeah, you gotta stay down, eh? Just some yawn, looking for a way out, eh? People watching, yeah, I gotta skip town, eh? Hit my phone if you need a hold.
I done made sacrifices. So many sacrifices. Straight up. I done gave up so much free time, knowing time ain't free. I sacrificed it. My girl showed me love, she know I make sacrifices.
All right, let's go to Adam Schefter, who's got more on this pick.
He got the attention of scouts pretty quickly when he had a game-winning catch that most receivers would have trouble bringing in. With one outstretched hand, he caught a pass that looked like it was about to sail out of the back of the end zone. He proved that even the big guys can make some incredible plays with their hands. And in a league where receiving tight ends are becoming a premium, it's no wonder this team took him here.
Entertainment boy, I'm Mr. Anderson in the Matrix. Check the last name, it's all facts. In the human race, it's all about pacing. Look at all the ones I outlasted. I'm the one at the end like I count backwards. Never satisfied, details classified till the afterlife. Make a sacrifice down.
Why can't y'all recognize that we all came from sacrifice? Why can't y'all recognize that we all came from sacrifice?
Yeah. Young Gerald. Yeah.
The Lions are now on the clock.
Yeah. Die line with the boom pow. Every week now I switch to a new style. 2 12s in the back just blew out. Everything I do end up in the news now. Yeah, lead a club with a few now. Just some Hollywood and they do. I'm in the mood now. 2 a.m. What you wanna do now? What you wanna do now? Little baby, pass. Don't spill on me. That's Margella. Got this Oakland game to tell her. She look familiar. At Coachella, what's her name? Isabella. Forget it. Yeah. Like a week ago, but we both know how weekends go. Trying to function, got some places we can.
The Eagles are now on the clock.
I'm blessed. I don't GA. You tryna. Yes on yes. Say less. Say less. ain't no. Say less. Yeah. Say less. Hey girl, what it do?
All right, now that the pick's in, let's go to Adam. Adam, what can you tell us about this guy?
He was always a player who cared about academics, and that couldn't have been made any more clear when he decided to forego his senior season in order to take on more classes. His goal was to graduate before entering the NFL draft, and at the sacrifice of his final year of football eligibility, he was able to pull it off. The decision left some experts scratching their heads, but guys like Matt Miller saw it as a smart move to stay injury-free and remove the distraction of getting his diploma once he went pro. At least with the degree, he has a backup job now in case this whole football thing doesn't work out for him.
Say less.
Sheesh. What you saying, I don't understand. I'm out my mind, I popped. Sheesh. I swear this lock shot got me stuttering. Girl, you not fall in love again. Sheesh. Get it, my favorite rush. You talkative, ain't got a...
Saints have just made Hughes their guy. Let's hear more about him from Adam.
He was one of the most dominant pass rushers in college football last year, getting everyone's attention after netting over 20 sacks and setting a new school record. He started seeing double teams at the line midway through the season, and that still didn't stop him from getting to the quarterback. Scouts all agree that he is a rare combination of strength and burst off the line that make him a threat on almost every play. He's a real difference maker for a defense, and he should be a starter for this defensive line in no time.
Yes on, yes on, yes on, yes. Say less. Say less. You ain't no. Say less. Say less. Say less. You ain't no. Say less.
I come here today to talk about how I feel, and I feel like that we are treated differently than other people, and I don't like how we're treated, and just because of our doesn't mean anything to me.
It's just the way I feel. Mine's been racing so long, yeah. It's just no way to deal with these problems alone. And I really can't take it no more. I've been fighting temptations, my Lord. I'm young and I'm restless, and I really can't help it. I never felt selfish before. I've been living so reckless, I know. Tell me, Lord, can you help me? I said, Lord, can you help me? Now everybody got problems, yeah, but waiting no one way to solve them. I really came up from the bottom, struggling my mama on the last dollar. Hustling, man, I've been putting in these hours. The government been trying to take away with ours. Really all about the money and the power. I just wanna see my people in power. Tell me how we gon' shape this vision. Complaining all day, but in the same condition. If you wanna make change, it's gon' take commitment. Some people enslaved by their religion can't emancipate.
The Jets pick is in, and it's Collins.
When I ask scouts around the league what his biggest asset is, they always point to his father. His dad is a high school coach that knows how to consistently finish in the top of the school's division. And ever since he was able to walk, he's been on the sidelines for every game. Even after he leaves practice at night, he's still getting advice from his dad at home. And from what I've heard from scouts who watched him play, you can tell the extra coaching has helped. Even during interviews at the Combine, I was told by several GMs that he was one of their favorite players to talk to. He has his dad's eye for the game, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him become a coach one day himself. I like him a lot, and he'll be a great addition to the team.
You living like this, and I never sell my soul cause that's priceless. Tell me how we gon' make a living. Hustle on the block, who gon' save the children? Man, it's all a plot, and I'm just revealing. The media just trying to make a villain. I just take the pain and paint a picture. Voices in my head, I hear the whispers when I feel this way. And I really can't take it no more. I've been fighting temptations, my Lord. I'm young and I'm restless, and I really can't help it. I never felt selfish before. I've been living so reckless, I know. Tell me, Lord, can you help me? I said, Lord, can you help me? It's I really can't take it no more. I've been fighting temptations, my Lord. I'm looking up restless. I said, Lord, help me. I've never felt selfish before. I've been living so reckless, I know. To be lucky, you help me.
The Cardinals are now on the clock. The Chargers are now on the clock.
Legging with Nick, we dump it off like V. Ramonovic. Sorry, homie, you know we not friends, it's off of politics. Politics never get to see.
The Giants are now on the clock.
You rappers on punishment. Papa dog, they be lying on they brother.
Adam, what can you tell us about that last pick?
Scouts I've talked to expressed a great deal of frustration with his inconsistent play throughout the season, saying it made it near impossible to evaluate him in 11-on-11 situations. Even with this being said, there was significant interest in the big tight end, many believing that with the right coaching and confidence building, he could develop into a dominant player. This pick is a bit of a gamble, with the hope being a clean slate can help him exercise the demons that prevented him from reaching his full potential in college.
I never had to struggle when it to a beef. Always 10 toes, so it's hard to defeat. And trust me, I've been looking hard for a beef, huh? He ain't rapped this hard in a long time. You street, all Vita do's and dies. Homie, always say to the guys on my life, been addicted to the power, ain't gon' lie, yo. Ain't no fear, I'm never willing, put it up in yo. Ain't no telling.
All right, team is now off the clock. Adam Schefter, can you tell us about their newest player?
A veritable interception machine, he holds his college's single-game record for interceptions in a game, snagging 3. Scouts pointed to an almost sixth sense when the ball was in the air, and Matt Miller had him ranked as the top defensive back in the draft in his final mock. True lockdown defensive backs are few and far between, and this is a pick that should solidify this team's pass defense for years to come. It'll be very interesting to see if opposing offenses go right after him, and how if he shows any rust after being avoided for much of his final year in college.
Look at you like dog, look where you came. I don't give a about man, yeah, change. And let your style and I need my change. DMV, I'm a the year. Legging with my fears. Rapping, but I'm quiet when I'm near. Always plotting on the bitches and I'm plotting on my fears. We don't need no checks from the boys. We just need respect from the boys. We don't wanna fall in love by the force. So I just get the little re-drilling with the boys here.
Our very own Adam Schefter has more to say about this pick.
Like football, rugby's a sport that's played with guys of all shapes and sizes. In his case, he was one of the big guys pushing and pulling blocks in the center of the pitch. He was playing rugby for a university in Australia before he was recruited to transfer and play football for 2 seasons here in America. His first year was spent adjusting to the game, getting used to the different rules and how to play his position properly. The guy even had to adjust how he tackled now that he had to wear pads and a helmet. But his second year is really where we started to see what he could potentially do. He's a physical player at the line of scrimmage. The team was able to pick up a good addition to its line with a bit of an interesting history.
Never had a thing, never had a pound. You were never bad then, you ain't bad now. Never had them, then look back down. Wait, I saw bare kicks, saw bare clothes. Said not that, I can't wear those. I don't like them, they're not my thing. They went silent, they're all weirdos. Like yeah, Storm's gone clear. Never had a Tom Ford or a Montclair. Man, them I can't be, you see my done there. Tell them don't do it, don't dare. Don't care who you know from my block. You're not Al Capone, they can take my car and my creps. I'll still do the road in my socks. Like who's gonna stop me? You, him, little man. I got blue slims. Don't be an idiot, move smart. I've been killing it, new king. You weren't ready for my new stuff. You're a boy by yourself, go and group up. And when Crep went states for the BTs, I was covering Crep like a boot cut. If mad, it's a family thing, straight family thing. Dumb man, I broke no salary thing. Had a young thing called Amy telling me to come round hers on a Valerie thing. Hashtag Murky Academy thing. You were like art and the gallery thing. Dumb boy there wanna chat about bars, wanna chat about. You're getting way too big for your boots. You're never too big for the boot. I got the big size toes on my feet. Your face ain't big for my boots. Kick up the you. Man, know that I kick up the you. Them boy there try to suck the truth. How dare you to suck the truth? Look, I'm too hot. I got money in my shoebox. I'm the man of the house when my show sold out like the brother from the Boondocks. Beat Swan on my boombox. Still meat from the stew pot. Man, I'm go sick when my tune drops. Look.
The Ravens are now on the clock.
What? Pronounce it right. I got magic, I'm down to die for this. I don't care, bro, I'm down. Man stressed, so I'm bound to like my slips. Wait, I'm bound to ride for flips. Real G's gonna ride around to this. Man, I got no time to write at this. I never left my 9 to 5 for this waste man thing. I don't care what rave man's in. I came here to relax, but if it gets mad, make a young boy take man's things. Try to tell me I'm way too big to rebel. Nah, man, you're never too big to rebel. I was in the O2 singing my lungs out rude, but you're never too big for Adele. Leave my yard, blow a kiss to my girl. Salute to my sister as well. Gotta keep trophies down at my mum's bit. Man, I'm getting way too big for my shelf. Man, I see bare MCs on the sideline, but I still got a couple bangs in the pipeline. Man, I got grown men at me. You're getting way too old for the timeline. You're getting way too old for a diss. Should've looked after your kids. Get out the booth, go home to your son. It's never too late to commit. It's like man love, put my name in a random flag, get a plane to Qatar. This year I learned how to take care of business. Next year I'll learn how to play the guitar. You're getting way too big for your boots. You're never too big for the boot. I got the big size toes on my feet. Your face ain't big for my boots. Kick up the you. Man, know that I kick up the you. Them boy there try to suck the truth. How dare you to suck the truth? Look, you're getting way too big for your boots. You're never too big for the boot. I got the big size toes on my feet. Your face ain't big for my boots. Kick up the you. Man, know that I kick up the you. Them boy there try to suck the truth. How dare you to suck the truth?
Yeah, you know I've been ballin'. Hey, yeah, you know I've been.
The Jaguars are now on the clock.
Every day I'm shot calling.
The Jaguars have made their pick. Adam, what can you tell us about him?
This is a player that draft experts really didn't start talking about until the tail end of the season. The biggest topic of discussion was where the sudden change in production came from. I talked to his college position coach, and he told me that a nagging injury slowed him down early in the season. You can clearly see he favored one side over the other when he was put out on the field or even walking on the sidelines. After he was benched for a few weeks, he came back and played at a much higher level. Even so, some teams were still cautious and did a thorough medical examination at the combine to be sure he was completely recovered. The results must have been positive for the team to have just drafted him now. As long as he can stay healthy, I really like what he brings to this team.
Yeah, you know I've been ballin'. Ay, yeah, you know I've been ballin'. Ay, every day I'm shot calling. I'm a spray. Make it rain just to let you know I've been ballin'. Ay, yeah, I've been ballin'. Yeah, just to let you know I'm ballin'. I'm a spray. Make it rain just to let you know. Yeah, you cannot see me, the windows is tinted. Yeah, driving around in that Bentley. Hey, you drive around right in that Bentley. Hey, but your shit, it just be rented. Yeah, but that is none of my business. Money won't stop me, go straight to the top. Believe it or not, you like getting the same. Yeah, she know I'm.
The Jaguars are now on the clock. The pick's been made. Let's go to Adam Schefter to hear more about the player.
A consistent performer his entire college career, he went out on a high note in his final game, recording 3 interceptions and being named the player of the game. General managers have been simply drooling over the opportunity to draft him, with one telling me he's as close to a sure thing as there is in this draft. He'll have plenty of opportunity to showcase his coverage skills this season, as he'll likely line up against some of the NFL's most elite wide receivers.
Just to let you know I'm ballin', I'm a smack, make it rain, just to let you know.
Picture me putting my city all over the map. They wasn't believers, I had to get even and mad. We coming up, pulling up, jumping all over your grass. So tell them I got a new girl. Tell them that I'm in the bank and I want all my 50s in cash. I'm tired of living check to check. I need 20 models, this is smiling in my grave, fresh to death. I've been Wu-Tang with a spec.
The Patriots are now on the clock.
I gotta just get off my chest. I cannot miss, I got last on my list and you next. Take it how you want it. I ain't famous like I want it, but I think I might just skirt off. Blow the speakers and turn up. Pop up. Go to church with my shirt off. Tell the Lord that I'm here now. I've been waiting for so long. I've been patient for so long. Breaking rules like there's no laws, and I did it for a long time. If you don't like me, take a ticket. There's a long line. Nice to meet me. I think the pleasure's all mine. They've been clocking me so long, I think they lost time. Ooh, you lost. What you mean? Woo! What you mean? Woo! And now trust the so with the what you mean? Woo! Hold up, whoa, with the what you mean? Woo! Hold up now. Don't know what you think, compare me to. Adrenaline popping, the blood will be leaking and running. Yeah. I do what I do, I don't care if you like it or love it. Tell all of my I got a new girl. You tell the that I'm in the bank and I want all my money in hundreds. I'm tired of living on the edge. I want it, they gon' call the feds. I just bought a cost an arm and leg. My mama told me take it back and get a job instead. Where's your common sense? Me and the devil got too much in common, I swear. Yeah. Born in the ghetto, I never had nothing to fear. Take it how you want it. I ain't famous like I want it, so I might just throw a hissy fit. Call him.
The Raiders are now on the clock.
I told Shorty if she talking nice, and she gon' call her friends up and we did, whoa, I ain't in the
Broncos are now on the clock.
If I ain't in your top 10, go ball for bridge. My black boys like boys that knock off your lid. I thought y'all gon' pop off, so hop off my. What you mean?
The Vikings are now on the clock.
I said, what you mean? Woo! Listen, I don't trust her. So, no, I said, what you mean? Whoa.